Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Ways and Means Committee meeting to order, please, for May 22nd. If you would please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Stockin?
Present.
Mr. Fanton?
Here.
Mrs. Burdick? Here. Mr. Demick?
Here.
Mr. Havey?
Here.
Mr. Healy?
Here.
Mr. Ricky?
Here.
Mrs. Root? And Mr. Harris. 7 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. We need approval of the minutes for May 8th, please.
Fanton will move that.
Demick will second.
Any questions or comments? None. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. The audit was distributed to you by email and on your desk. Could we have a motion for approval, please?
Healy will make it.
Ricky second.
Are there any questions about the audit? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. And now we have referrals from committee. Human Services, please.
Thank you. The first one is Public Health Director Tyler Shaw is requesting a resolution to perform a budget modification to accept and appropriate an additional $60,213 associated with the ELC COVID-19 federal grant. The additional grant funding is attributable to an extension of the grant from December 31st, 2023 to July 31st, 2024, and will be utilized to fund salaries, fringe benefits, and perform additional outreach as it relates to meeting grant deliverables. And I will make a motion for that.
Demick will second.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Mr. Shaw is requesting a resolution to perform a budget modification to appropriate and reallocate all remaining unspent grant funding associated with the COVID-19 vaccination response grant. The majority of the grant funds have or will be utilized to procure equipment to assist Allegheny County's vulnerable population while attending vaccination clinics, purchasing vaccination supplies, integrating COVID-19 and other vaccination data into the electronic medical record system, as well as performing billboard, mail, and other education and outreach for vaccine confidence strategies. The budget modification is a total amount of $77,259, and I will move that.
And he'll second.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Mr. Shaw is requesting a resolution to perform a budget modification to reappropriate all remaining unspent grant funding associated with the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation State Septic System Replacement Program. This grant reimburses property owners an amount of up to 50% of the eligible costs of septic system projects up to a maximum of $10,000 per project. The scope of the project area is limited to those properties within 250 feet of Canacadea Creek that have septic systems that are failing or likely to fail per the program outline. As of January 1st, 2024, the grant has remaining unexpended funding of $10,605, and I will move that.
Ricky second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Due to a resignation, Mr. Shaw is requesting permission to fill one part-time early intervention service coordinator position in the health department. The annual salary of this position is estimated to be $30,079 with annual benefits. This position is funded with 17% county, 47% state, and 36% from other sources. Funds in the amount of $29,356 are included in the 2024 budget, and I will move that.
Havey will second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Due to a resignation, Mr. Shaw is requesting permission to fill one full-time public health sanitarian position in the health department. The annual salary of this position is estimated to be between $52,390 and $67,318 with benefits. This position is funded with 100% state funds and is included in the 2024 budget, and I will move that.
Helio, second it.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Due to a resignation, Mr. Shaw is requesting permission to fill one full-time WIC nutritionist position. The annual salary of this position is estimated to be between $44,393 and $47,545 with benefits. This position is funded with 100% federal funds and is included in the 2024 budget, and I will move that.
Van will second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Due to a promotion, Deputy Commissioner of Social Services Don Horn is requesting permission to fill one full-time senior typist position and all subsequent backfills in the Department of Social Services. The annual salary of this position is estimated to be between $35,404 and $41,448 with benefits, and it is included with 66% federal funds and offset by TANF collection funds, and is included in the 2024 budget, and I will move that.
Demick will second.
Questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Mr. Horn is requesting a resolution to approve the resource allocation plan and accept and appropriate the New York State Office of Children and Family Services Youth Development Program Award in the amount of $106,522, and he has listed how the money will be appropriated for the summer youth programs, and I will move that.
Helio, second.
Any questions, discussion about this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
And finally, Mr. Horn is requesting a resolution to accept and appropriate a donation of funds that have been awarded to support the Child Advocacy Center from the Zonta Club of Olean for $1,000 and the Olean Portville Lions Club for $300, and I will move that.
Helio, second.
Questions? All in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Planning and Economic Development, Mr. Demick, would you be able to read those?
County Administrator Kristen Knapp is requesting a resolution and authorization to apply for a community project funding application CFA highway account for the Candia Historic Bridge Project, Phase A. The funding will be utilized to convert the Candia Historic Bridge into a pedestrian and bicycle path and to conduct the design and pre-construction work for a new replacement bridge for vehicle traffic. Administrator Knapp also requested that the chairman of the board's signature for the grant submission be ratified and authorized to execute any other documents necessary to effectuate the grant. Share of the grant is $905,800 with a local county share of $226,450, representing 20% in matching funds. The total cost of Phase A is $1,132,250, and I'll move that.
Van will second.
Any questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple here. Now, I'd like to know whose bridge this is going to be.
It's a county bridge.
So the county will be responsible, I haven't seen a plan for this myself, what the long-term for the maintenance and everything is on it.
It's always been a county bridge, and we'll continue that. They've been taking care of it.
Well, I know that, but we haven't done any work up there other than what was an emergency, required for any emergency, but it's not open to even per se. So I'd just like to know a little more about it here.
I believe this funding that they're applying for is to make the plans on what to
Right.
do with that. Would anybody want to speak to that? Mr. Boyd or Miss County Administrator coming to answer all questions?
I don't know if I'll answer all the questions, but I can answer what questions I have information for. So we are looking at doing two phases on this one. I believe we have the historic bridge, which is, I believe, open to pedestrian traffic as it is now. We do have money set aside in a capital account for repairs on that bridge, although we haven't done any in some time. we are looking to apply for funding on this bridge to turn it into a trails type system, and we'll probably use some of the funding in our capital account for the match on this as well. Looking forward, we would love to have another county bridge open for road traffic at that same location in the future. Whether or not we could ever find sufficient funding to build one of those, I do not know. But I think if you look at our general traffic patterns north of the Genesee, there's not very many bridge crossings. We know what happened when County Road 26 bridge went down in Belfast and the effect that had on our school systems and emergency services. It would be nice to try to be a little bit more resilient and have greater opportunities to cross the river. So I'm assuming if we went forward with that, it would also probably be a county road bridge since it's our county road.
Well, I'm not against any of that. I'm just not sure that's the best place for the bridge, location for the bridge. I think there's probably another bridge is needed up in that part of the country, but for emergency services, et cetera, and convenience. But this is just, we're just going along with Phase A. Allows you to apply for funds, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Administrator Knapp is requesting a resolution and authorization to apply for a community project funding application CFA/STAG for the Gateway Center to the Western New York Wilds Project. The funding will provide for a water line extension project and the installation of a booster tank necessary for potable water. Funding will also be used to build a sewer treatment facility. These infrastructure improvements are crucial for future development at the Gateway Center. Administrator Knapp also requested that the chairman of the board's signature for the grant submission be ratified and authorized to execute any other documents necessary to effectuate the grant, subject to the review and approval of the terms and conditions by the county attorney. Total county share of the grant is $3,620,352, with a local county share of $190,088 of committed funds. Other project funding sources include ARC/IIJA with $740,000 and state funding of $900,000. Total project funding is $5,450,440, and I'll move that.
You'll second.
Any questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Administrator Knapp is requesting a resolution to accept and appropriate the 22-23 Area Development Grant, Appalachian Regional Commission, ARC, Area Development, IIJA Funding Award. Funds will be used to complete a comprehensive sewer study project that includes an analysis of the conditions of existing municipal sewer systems and identification of needs of areas without municipal systems in the county. Administrator Knapp also requested that the chairman of the board's signature for the grant submission be ratified and authorized to execute any other documents necessary to effectuate the grant, subject to the review and approval of the terms and conditions by the county attorney. The total grant is $800,000 with a local county share of $240,000 from a non-federal source, and I'll move that.
Rick will second.
Are there questions?
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I just want to say I've been down, talked to several local municipal officials there, town and village, and I think the general consensus I got from this was that they're all in favor of this and are looking forward to some of the other avenues of funding this might open up for both them and the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried.
Administrator Knapp is requesting a resolution to accept and appropriate the community project funding for the Allegheny County Outdoor Agricultural Community Space Improvements Project. Funds will be used for repairs and upgrades to the Allegheny County Fairgrounds infrastructure, including paving, gas, electric, and water utility upgrades and replacements, roof replacement, and new buildings. Administrator Knapp also requested that the chairman of the board's signature for the grant submission be ratified and authorized to execute any other documents necessary to effectuate the grant, subject to the review and approval of the terms and conditions by the county attorney. The total grant is $567,800 with a 0 county match, and I'll move that.
Ricky, second.
Are there any questions, discussion items? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. We have one more from Ways and Means. Mr. Fanton, if you would read that, please.
County Treasurer Terry Ross is requesting to fill. County Treasurer Terry Ross is requesting to fill one temporary full-time office aide position, Section 4 salary plan in the County Treasurer's Office pending the approval to create the position at the board meeting this afternoon. The request to create the position was approved at the May 15th, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting on behalf of the Personnel and Ways and Means Committees. The annual salary of this position is estimated between $9,450 and $10,710, with annual benefits estimated between $2,061, $2,335. This position will be funded by not filling a vacant senior account position included in the 2024 budget. Now I'll move it.
Demick will second.
Questions, discussion here? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. Just in case anybody is tuning into this for the first time, all of those items have already been dealt with previously in other committees and then brought here, so it's plenty of discussion prior to this. Do we have any old business? Any new business? Go to the order.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
it is my pleasure to announce a caucus at 1:30 in the DPW conference room. Thank you.
Anything else? Go to the order. We have a motion to adjourn.
Vertical move.
Ricky, second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.